I loved it. Yes, I loved it. Loved it. Loved it. It probably would have taken more than a year any other way. But with all of this NEA shit happening, we got her into a group show ASAP. The first night this thing opened, the gallery was the busiest I'd ever seen it because all the papers were talking about Celia Merode's first show since everything started happening. I mean, not like big articles on her, but there'd be these little blurbs to fill space in the newspapers. And the art world reads those tiny blurbs, right? Some of these artists get mentioned in a mainstream paper. It could be just an inch-long paragraph. And they start thinking they're hot shit. They start talking to the gallery girls like they're fucking gods. Even worse than before they got any press. Celia was probably the only person in the place who wasn't reading any of the news. Jack Eagleheart, the painter and sculptor, he comes up to me during the group show I put her in, and he's pissed, saying, "Why the fuck do all these people think it's a Celia Merode show? Who the fuck is Celia Merode? Somebody just looked at my sculpture and said they didn't get why it was so controversial. This guy talking to her said it didn't look anything like a Merode. Who the fuck is Celia Merode?" I thought he'd punch me in the face. He was that fucking mad. But I knew where he was coming from. It was supposed to be an exhibition of sculptures, and there's no easy way to squeeze her photographic work into that category. Still, we put up 2 of her figure drawing photos, and their student drawings. She was a total pain in the ass about showing those, by the way, but fuck it. I knew that anything from that series would start a commotion in 1989. I should have cut Pat Robertson in on the gallery's sales, or maybe even Gorbachev for tearing down the wall. Because now that the Cold War was over, these evangelicals needed some new enemy to focus on. So they picked little old Celia Merode of all people. Don't get me wrong, I don't like working with the flavor of the month. That's not why I do this. I want to work with somebody whose career is going to build and flourish and last until they can't get it up anymore. Because that flavor of the month is going to drop out of the scene before the end of their precious month. And that's what it looked like for our Miss Merode. Because even with all that Christian hoopla, even with thousands of people walking into the gallery hoping to be shocked or offended, even with serious press covering the opening, we didn't sell any of Celia's photographs. We sold a lot of that show, a lot of the other artists. Most of those pieces were sold before we even opened, though. I'd shown Celia's photos to some collectors before the opening, but I couldn't get the right collectors to buy her work, or for the right price. Yeah, I could have gotten some prick who thought controversy meant longevity to buy these things, but controversy usually doesn't end well. The guys who you want to buy the art, to get the other right people to buy it next, and so on, and so on, they simply weren't interested. In a lot of ways, Celia just wasn't a sure bet for these guys. She'd only had the one solo show. Somebody like Mapplethorpe, though, his work did boffo box office during all of that shit. But he was a known quantity. He was a guy. Celia was an untried risk, and unfortunately for her, a woman. One of my collectors, he looked at the photos for a long time. I tried selling them, creating the narrative of this iconoclastic artist. He finally stopped pacing back and forth and said, "It reminds me of Cindy Sherman, but I think Sherman's hotter, so I'll probably stick with her stuff instead, if I gotta look at it every day." Don't tell Celia that. The group show wrapped at the end of the month, and I had to break the news to Celia. Well, I wasn't breaking it to her. Kelly told her that it just wasn't working out. "We're sorry, but we need to part ways." That's just how these things go. You might be brilliant. You might be what everyone's talking about. But if no one's buying your shit, we gotta break ties. We can't take you on as a regular client. Best wishes. Good luck with all of your future endeavors. I usually let Kelly break the news if I don't think the artist will start swinging at the messenger. And believe me, those fuckers can pack a punch when you stall their dreams or cash flow.